Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming to this first panel of the annual investment meeting. You know all the panelists from the program, so there's no particular need to introduce them. But before we get started, we will have a keynote speaker, and the keynote speaker is Ms. Arancha González, the Executive Director of the International Trade Center. So, please, the floor is yours.
Without further ado, thank the United Arab Emirates and the AIM for having invited me to talk about a topic which is very much linked to the mandate of the international organization that I head, the International Trade Center, in terms of helping small and medium enterprises in developing countries secure opportunities for trade and through that develop, grow and create jobs. Now, foreign capital inflows are critical inputs into an economy, into a country's economic progress. Attracting foreign direct investment is associated with macroeconomic, political and social stability, as we heard this morning, and effective investment policies can increase spending in infrastructure, in productive industries, in added value services and in innovative activities. We know from UNCTAD's World Investment Report of last year that there is a correlation between activities in participation in global value chains and GDP per capita growth rates, which is telling us that FDI is a critical instrument in achieving sustainable development. And this is the reason why I think we would do good in making sure investment figures in the UN post-2015 development framework discussions. Now let me now move into a number of new features that we have seen in the investment landscape. First, during the last 15 years, emerging economies and middle-income countries have played a major role in shaping FDI's flows. The current FDI realities see the growing importance of developing countries both as host countries of FDI, but also a significant source of FDI abroad. Developing and emerging economies accounted for 60% of total inward FDI flows in 2013 and around 30% of outward FDI flows. This new scenario illustrates that 21st century competition is not only on attracting foreign direct investment, but also on ensuring the presence of national enterprises in other economies. In fact, governments today are providing support not only to foreign investors to establish affiliates in their countries, but also providing support to national enterprises to go abroad. Government investment agencies also serve national enterprises and assist them to internationalize. And here the objective is twofold: to strengthen the competitiveness of national firms, but also to facilitate access to foreign markets, resources, technology, and know-how. Now, what is it that can be done to implement an international regulatory framework that reassures economic operators that the world is still full of investment opportunities? The answer, in my view, is a straightforward one: build a legal framework which is favorable towards those operators offering the biggest growth potential. And here, I would want to speak of the small and medium-sized enterprises, the engines of virtually every economy around the world, holding the greatest potential for growth and for employment creation over the coming decades. In order to maximize the direct benefits of foreign direct investment for both home and host countries, it is important to support policies and regulations aimed at making a country attractive for investors. Thus, it's about transparency, it's about predictability, an important word, it's about stability. It's also finding the right balance between protecting investment and having the right space to regulate investment at home. And it's finding this fine balance that is probably what would be at the heart of our discussions today and tomorrow. Now, this is where, in my view, there is a growing convergence of opinion between developed and emerging economies. The great convergence lies in the complementarity between trade and investment, and therefore the necessary coordination in policies and in regulatory frameworks required at the international, at the regional, and we've heard also this morning that the regional dimension is more and more relevant, as well as at the national level. The merge of trade and investment promotion organizations, for example, is symptomatic of this and is increasingly occurring both in developed as well as in developing countries. I can take examples such as Liberia, Sweden or France, to name a few. Trade and investment regulatory frameworks are increasingly seen as two sides of the same coin, and to address these policies in concert is to better facilitate the internationalization of companies. If in the past investment decisions were led by trade trends, today trade dynamics are more and more shaped by investment decisions, as companies are scattering their production and distribution across countries in search for optimal business environment and production factors. Now, although there is a clear tendency to review and reshape the international regulatory framework for FDI, there is no clear understanding, as of yet, of which form this international regulatory framework should take. And this has implications at a number of levels. It has implications for the way that developing countries approach bilateral investment treaties and international investment agreements. It has implications related to the ongoing mega trade deals being negotiated, a number of which are looking into investment-related provisions, for example, in setting new investment standards, or in addressing matters related to state-owned enterprises, to name a few, as well as on the role of private standards in framing investment and connecting with global value chains. 2 seconds on the role of these private standards. The negotiation of investment liberalization and protection clauses in ongoing mega trade deals, has relaunched the discussion on the development impact of foreign investments. A general framework of private and international standards to address this issue does exist, for example, through the UN Global Compact, OECD guidelines for multinational enterprises, but these principles are voluntary. So there is, in my view, a gap there that needs to be looked at attentively. In my sense, the potential for complexification of investors due to the multiplicity and complexity of regulatory frameworks that are stemming from different bilateral or regional activities is something that should be looked at, and we should ask ourselves whether it wouldn't make more sense to try and capture all of this with some sort of multilateral framework. So, to conclude, growing international economic and business integration is not and does not have to be exclusive to large transnational cooperation. As development actors, we should strive to make sure that stable institutional and business links can improve the competitiveness of local companies, of small and medium enterprises. An effective regulatory framework is one that facilitates their participation, the participation of SMEs in international production chains. So with that, I look forward to a robust debate over all this landscape of relevant topics, and I thank you very much.